The wedding day had always been etched in my mind as a symbol of hope, joy, and the life I had dreamt of building forever. I had spent months planning every detail, from the flower arrangements to the seating plan, ensuring that every guest would feel welcomed and every memory would be picture-perfect. My heart was full of excitement, expecting laughter, love, and the warmth of family. But as I walked through the grand hall, decked in white and gold, and saw the smiles on everyone's faces, an uneasy chill ran down my spine. There was something that didn't quite fit, something hidden behind the glimmering eyes and polite congratulations. I brushed it off at first, telling myself it was just pre-wedding jitters, yet deep down, a whisper told me that my life was about to be upended. The ceremony began, and I watched my partner walk down the aisle with a radiant smile, holding the arm of someone I trusted to be her support, her companion, her forever. But the way she looked around, the flicker of a glance toward a corner of the hall where she shouldn't have been noticing anyone, those small, fleeting expressions made my stomach twist. My eyes followed hers obsessively, and then I saw it, a text on her phone lighting up in her hand as she subtly typed a reply. I didn't want to believe it. Not on this day. Not after all we had promised each other. But the pit in my stomach grew, a dark, gnawing certainty that something was terribly wrong. By the time we reached the vows, my voice felt heavier than ever. Every word I spoke was laced with a tremor of doubt, every promise overshadowed by a creeping fear I couldn't shake. I glanced at her, trying to search for the warmth I had loved for years, but what I saw instead was a carefully maintained mask, a rehearsed happiness that didn't reach her eyes. And then it hit me, the subtle touches she shared, the hidden smiles exchanged with someone in the back row. It wasn't me. My chest tightened, and I could barely breathe, but I had to continue. I had to see this through, if only to uncover the truth. After the ceremony, during the reception, the picture-perfect atmosphere began to crumble piece by piece. The photographer captured smiles, but my eyes caught the secret exchanges. A hand brushing hers a little too lingeringly, a gaze held a second too long between her and a man I barely recognized. I forced myself to stay calm, convincing myself it was nothing. But then came the unexpected. One of her closest friends, someone I had trusted, leaned over and whispered, "I didn't know if I should tell you, but you need to see this." My heart froze as she handed me a small envelope, sealed and unassuming. My hands shook as I opened it, and inside were photographs. Photos that told a story far darker than I could have imagined. There she was, my partner, in moments I never thought possible, sharing intimate laughter, secret touches, and whispered words with someone else in a way that completely contradicted the vows she had just made to me. My world started spinning. The grand hall, the flowers, the music, it all became background noise to the storm raging inside me. Every smile on her face now felt like a dagger twisted into my chest. I could feel the people around me celebrating, unaware of the betrayal unfolding in the very heart of their gathering. My mind raced. Who could I trust? Who had been conspiring behind my back? And the most painful thought of all, had I ever really known her at all? In the midst of the celebration, I excused myself and retreated to a quiet corner, heart hammering, breath ragged, as I scrolled through the messages she had tried to hide. There, in cold, deliberate text, were conversations revealing months of secret meetings, hidden trips, and lies that had been spun with precision to ensure I remained blind. The depth of deceit cut deeper than I could have anticipated. Every memory, every laugh we shared suddenly felt tainted, a cruel performance on a stage where I had been nothing but a pawn. The betrayal was not just shocking, it was complete. I returned to the main hall, my face composed though my heart was breaking in ways I could never have imagined. I watched as she danced with family members, laughed with friends, and basked in the glow of a day that had now become my worst nightmare. No one knew, and that was what made it even more unbearable. I realized then that heartbreak wasn't just about being hurt. It was about witnessing someone you loved living a lie in front of everyone you cared about, including yourself. As the night drew on, I discovered something even more sinister. A secret message left for her in the guest book, a note from the man who had been with her all along, anticipating this very day. I read it with trembling hands, each word a testament to the deceit I had unknowingly been part of. Anger, sadness, and disbelief collided in me, and I had to step outside, away from the prying eyes and congratulatory voices. The cool night air did nothing to soothe the fire inside me. I realized that this wedding, this event meant to celebrate love and union, had instead become a masterclass in betrayal, a public display of my personal heartbreak, a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. Hours later, I sat alone in the car, staring at the city lights, replaying every moment of the day. I had sacrificed so much for the hope of a shared future, and yet that hope had been dismantled piece by lies I had never imagined. I thought about the life I had envisioned, home filled with laughter, shared dreams, late-night conversations, and I felt the heavy, unbearable weight of its destruction. My mind wandered to revenge, to confrontation, to demanding the truth. But a small voice inside me whispered that some revelations are better held in silence, witnessed quietly, burned into memory, so that the pain is sharp, undeniable, and everlasting. By the time the night ended, I knew something irreversible had happened. The wedding that was supposed to be the happiest day of my life had become the day I lost everything I thought I cherished. Every smile, every toast, every photograph was now a reminder of the lie, of the betrayal, and of a love that had never truly been mine. I drove home with tears I could no longer contain, feeling my heart fracture in ways that words could never fully capture. The world outside seemed unchanged, blissfully ignorant of the nightmare I had lived through, but inside me, everything had shifted. Trust had been broken, innocence shattered, and the life I had imagined had dissolved into a shadow of heartbreak and sorrow. Even now, days later, I find myself reliving that wedding. The music, the laughter, the forced congratulations, it all haunts me. And though life moves forward, I know I will never forget the day that promised happiness but delivered devastation. The wedding that should have been my joy became the epicenter of betrayal, a turning point that shattered my heart, broke my soul, and reminded me that sometimes the greatest heartbreak comes not from loss, but from seeing the truth unfold when it's too late to stop it.